Greetings and welcome to the Power Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dawson, joined as always by fellow hosts, Johnny Paulus and Kim Ponticello. Kim, welcome in. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
That's wonderful to hear.
Nothing too exciting to talk about, really. You know,
just some video game stuff this week.
Just getting life together and doing it.
Johnny, how are you, sir?
My youngest graduates elementary school tomorrow, and I'm not ready to be the father of two middle school kids. But
That's
here
so
we
exciting.
are. It's just crazy. You know, they grow up so fast. But I'm off work tomorrow, so get to go to the graduation, and then we'll hang out and have enjoy our first day of summer. One thing that's funny that I will say about Damon, my youngest. He is now playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and he has made it to Chapter 13 in about 35 hours. So, Mike, I think you, with the way that you play games, you could probably knock this game out in 30, 40 hours.
You said Rebirth or Remake?
Rebirth.
Hmm.
He's literally in the last zone, and I saw his playtime when he saved, and it was like mid-30s. So he's taking this game out in like 30, 40 hours, no problem.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's still not sold on playing.
I'm going to sell you
Fantasy.
on it when I start talking about my games I played, because I rolled credits on that bad boy.
Yeah, how long did it take?
A lot.
Okay. That's my main. I don't know that I want to.
Well,
do that.
but
you, sir, will learn why I don't have time for that shit when I talk about the games I've been playing this week.
Got it. Understood.
Before I get into games, though, I went to the zoo today.
Oh, how was that? Did you see a sloth?
There were many sloths.
Sloths are the best.
I got to pet a sloth once and I cried.
I was very excited for the donkeys.
I love donkeys. We have donkeys here. Like if you ride around, there's like donkeys.
And I got to see the
DC zoo?
happiest. I got to see the happiest little elephant in the world.
Oh, that's so fun.
That's awesome.
Instead of just laying around sleeping, we caught the elephants on an active afternoon. So this one goes trumping over to a feeder, and it's kind of up, so he's got his snoot and he's knocking the feeder, and all the hay's falling on the ground, and he's just smiling and scooping it up and chowing down. I'm like, you're just living the best life here, little guy.
So cute. I love that. Makes me happy.
It was a good time. Yeah, the National Zoo was a good time. What I wasn't prepared for was the amount of walking that was involved. I think between leaving the metro station, doing the zoo, and walking back, we had clocked something ridiculous like 17,000 steps.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And out there, the sun and the humidity. Oh my gosh. I was like, man.
Did you do the I think it's called Amazonia?
Oh yeah.
I love it. So at Kim, there's this one exhibit they have there called Amazonia where when you go in, it's almost, you feel like you're in an aquarium. There's all these fish and stuff, and then you figure out as you go up that they have this entire open air rainforest, and all those fish you saw are in the water down below, and then you're in the trees, and you'll literally look over and there's like a little monkey 2 feet from your face. No glass.
Wait, which zoo
nothing.
is this?
National Zoo, the DC Zoo.
Yeah, I've been there.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's like one of my favorites.
Not for like decades. I haven't been there like decades, but
so awesome. I go there every time.
What's not awesome is the food selection at the zoo.
No.
Zoo food selections are never great.
Garbage.
And it's expensive.
Yeah.
Me and Amy both collectively decided just to be ravenously hungry and disappointed that we didn't bring snacks. Instead of paying $9.75 for a single slice of Sparrow Sadness pizza.
$9.75
for one slice of pizza.
For Sparrow pizza?
And you know that credit card machine asks if your ass wants to leave a tip.
That is like gouging. How is that even okay? That is insane to me.
It's because the DC Zoo's free. You do not pay admission to go to the zoo. That's why.
I mean, it's not technically free. It's part of the Smithsonian.
Right.
It gets paid for.
No, I know. I mean, but I mean,
They're still
not
gouging.
You're not buying a $40 ticket to go.
Yeah,
I think any
they
zoos
didn't
are that
gouge
expensive
me,
to go
Johnny
to.
Palace. I saw that pizza and I said, no, I will not have this Sparrow $10 a slice pizza. It's like, if I'm going to eat fucking pizza, I'm going to spend $20. I'm getting more than 2 slices.
Amen.
And it's definitely not going to be fucking Sparrow.
Yeah, no.
Mm-mm.
That's what you eat when you're late for your flight in the airport.
Exactly.
That's what you eat when you're meeting up with your kid's father for the weekend drop off and you're at the rest stop.
Yeah, both of those are completely accurate. Yes. When there is nothing else and you're just like looking and there it is under the heat lamp and you're like, well, looks like there's a little moisture left in it. Maybe I'll roll the dice on this one.
You basically have to have abandoned all hope for anything else.
Yes.
Before
There is no other option but this piece of pizza.
That's right.
So I found one guy that was selling the little bag of Miss Vicky's potato chips for
what flavor?
He had jalapeno, barbecue, and sea salt.
Okay. All right.
And
Decent
they
selection.
were only the gougy price of $3 a piece.
For the little snack bags?
Mm-hmm. But I could stomach paying $6 to not die in the middle of the zoo versus paying $20 for 2 slices of Sparrow.
Her dill pickle ones are the best ones. Those are really
spicy dill pickles are good.
So good.
I had the jalapeno. I was not disappointed.
No, the jalapeno ones are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was an Auntie Anne's in the zoo selling churros.
I love Annie Ann's.
And I think those were $10 a piece also.
Oh my god.
Auntie Anne's pretzel dogs are a big guilty pleasure of mine.
Am I the only one here that says aunt? Do you guys?
I mean,
are you both anters?
No, I say aunt when I talk about family members, but Auntie Anne's sounds weird, so I say Annie Ann's.
Yeah, I say Auntie Ann's.
Huh.
Yep.
I've always called it Auntie Ann's. Never thought of it that way. I was like, it's Auntie Ann's.
It kind of just rolls off your tongue as Annie Ann's.
Yeah, it does.
Fair enough. That's just my ultimate Baltimoreese coming through. It has to be aunt.
I mean, grammatically, you're correct. You're not wrong there at all.
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of linguistics that where people are from and they say that differently. Like we say coffee, Kim says coffee. It's like a regional thing.
I'm sitting here thinking about it, and now that I think about it, I'm thinking of all my aunts, right? Aunts. And I'm like, no, I've always said Aunt Reggie, Aunt Millie.
Same.
I've always said, I'm thinking about Aunt Ida. Like, I'm thinking of all my aunts now, and I've always said aunt.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that
100%.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Jersey.
I say aunt, not aunt.
And for me, it's always aunt. But I have the southern flavor.
Maybe both of my parents are from Indiana. Maybe I just get it from them. But
we say things a little bit differently down here in the South.
It's true.
I hate that. I hate that. I stole that.
My nieces and nephews all say Aunt Megan. I don't think any of them say Aunt Megan.
Huh?
Yeah. Aunt.
It's interesting.
I'm in the minority here.
That's right.
You're an auntie, huh?
Auntie Anne's.
This enthralling conversation, unfortunately, is coming to a close. It's time to welcome you all in to episode 161 of your Power Gamer podcast. If we haven't lost you, we're glad that you're here. And we do appreciate your kindness and support wherever you're listening to our show. If that happens to be on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the channel on audio platforms. You guys just do great work over there. Would you believe that over 75% of our audio listeners listen to the entire fucking show?
That's a
awesome.
lot.
It's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
you guys are great.
I could only beg for that kind of retention on YouTube. Where it's like you see
it's not gonna happen.
First 5 minutes, they're with us, and then they're like, "Man, he's really fucking having a conversation about aunts."
That's the exact thought I was having. How many YouTubers were like, "Fuck this"?
They're just like, they're out.
Sorry.
So it's all good. Anyway, welcome in. It's time to get the video game discussion going, and we're gonna start off this week. We're a couple days late to recording, so like there's been extra time for each of us to marinate and develop in our respective ovens. So Kim, let's start off with you this week.
Yes.
And let's just talk about the games that we've been playing.
So, I started System Shock. And
Hell yeah.
I got a few hours into it.
The remake.
The remake. And I really, really like it. However, the little like retro areas that you go into where you have to like shoot all the things flying at you, Twitch hates it. Like Twitch is like, nope, we're not going to make this look pretty for you. Everything's going to be pixelated. It's going to look horrible. It did the same, like with No Man's Sky. If you guys ever watch somebody play No Man's Sky, whenever you warp, it doesn't matter. You can have a beast of a machine. Dread has a 2-system setup, and you warp, and it gets pixelated. That's like Twitch just not cooperating. So I've decided I'm probably going to play it off stream because that kind of stuff really bothers me. So, yeah. But so far, so good. So far, I'm really enjoying it. But Mike says for me to give it some time because I'm going to hate it.
I firmly still feel that way. Once you really get into that game, unless there is an unless you post up with a guide while you're playing it, then I don't think the game's going to frustrate you to no end.
Yeah, no, I don't have time for a guide. I'll probably just give up on it. It's fun. I like it, but not enough. Like, I mean, I have like Fallout guides where I've sat there and put like Post-it notes and checked off caves I've been to, and I have a Viva Pinata book where I've checked off all the breeds that I've gotten and stuff like that. But a game like System Shock, nah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, the only thing, like, once you've the thing that I've been warning you about is you're going to hit a wall of what the hell am I supposed to be doing?
Okay.
And the game will not ever tell you.
Right.
And it's very obtuse, the thing that you're supposed to be doing.
I hate that. Okay.
And you'll go through a few hours of just running around, backtracking, running around, trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing.
I do usually have Ash there, and Ash is my Ash, I'm going crazy. What do I do next person?
Well, so the moment you'd said it, I think you'd said it first on stream where you're like, yeah, I'm going to stop playing this on stream. I said, oh, that's it. That's the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you don't have somebody there to help you drive the bus.
Yeah.
And like when that wall moment comes, which for you, I predict like that's going to be at about the 4 or 5 hour mark. That wall hits hard in that game.
Okay.
Really hard. So
I like it, but probably not enough to like fight through it and grit my teeth and look up guides and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what it is? There are too many other games for me to be like, let me invest all of my energy and time into System Shock. But it was cool. And Deep Silver, thank you. I appreciate you. And it's a nice remake and they did good with it. But yeah, you know.
I'm definitely gonna play that remake. Hopefully soon, hopefully this year, is the plan. But yeah, no, I'm guide open the entire time.
Huh, okay. All right. So I talked about that game, Boxes Lost Fragments. Little indie game, kind of like The Room type thing. They also made a game, the devs also made a game called Doors Paradox, which I loved Boxes Lost Fragments so much that I got Doors Paradox. I beat Boxes. I actually streamed for 9 hours because I was like, I'm going to get through this game tonight. And because I loved it so much and I didn't want to stop. And I highly, highly recommend it. It's only $15. Which is a pretty great price for a nice little game.
I forget if it was on both Android and iOS or one or the other, but I remember looking at that and saying, "Wow, that is like the perfect tablet game."
Man, it was so good. It was honestly so good. The graphics were beautiful and the puzzles were like enough to keep your brain going, but not so much that you were like, "Fuck this game." It was, I mean, for me anyway, some people might go crazy with it, but I loved it. It was so chill and so relaxing. If I didn't have my chat there, it would have been very chill and very relaxing. However, in the middle of me trying to focus, my chat is playing 1,001 sounds to keep me distracted because that's what they do. So they tell me they do it out of love. I don't know at this point. I played Soulmask, which is another tree punching game, your guys' favorites. I played it with our good friend RTM. And it's cool. It's a cool game. Nice little game.
There's some buzz around that online.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I kind of like it. RTM doesn't really play a lot of survival games, so it was cool to see him playing it. It was kind of like a last minute thing. Because we had talked about doing another stream together because it had been a while. And so I popped onto his stream because I watch him while I'm getting my morning routine done. And I was like, "Oh, you're playing Soulmask. I have to cover that game. You want to play together?" And he was like, "Sure," because I wasn't expecting him to play it because he doesn't play survival games, but he's been played it. He really likes it, so it was pretty cool. Yeah. Last Epoch, I started playing. Very Diablo-like. There was a lot of buzz around it when it first came out, and it's okay. It's not a game. It's not a game I'm gonna go in and play all the time. I wanted it. I tried it. It's okay. It feels a little bit clunky in my opinion. But it's pretty. It's a very pretty game. I don't know if either of you have played it, but it's very, very pretty.
Have not. I mean, really, the only game in that genre that I play is Diablo, and I mean, I still haven't even touched 4 yet.
Same.
But this looks it looks just like Diablo. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. And I mean, it was nice. I could see why people really love it.
What makes it different from Diablo, I guess, would be my main question.
The abilities, the look of it. It's not as dark. It's not as dreary. It's brighter and prettier. And I will say the voice acting is really fantastic in it. The voice acting is great. Oh, and this game is literally all story-based. Like, Diablo is like, yeah, you have your Diablo 4 story, which they announced another story coming out for it, by the way. And then you get done with the story, and then the rest of the time is like grinding. Like, Last Epoch is like story. It's all story. So it's much more story heavy than Diablo. So Diablo gameplay.
Oh, that's intriguing to me.
But with story, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah. I played a game called Anonymous Hacker Simulator.
Oh God.
The hacking group Anonymous. So there's a game, an Anonymous Hacker Simulator, and it was interesting because I was streaming it and Pike was in stream watching. And so this is the problem, is that Pike is a hacker, right? And so it's kind of like me watching video games where they have like dog training and stuff, and I'm like, that's not how you really do it. Like, that's kind of how it was while he was watching it, and he was like, this game is kind of ridiculous. Like, he was like, you wouldn't do it that way. And then the problem, and why I had such a hard time with it, a really hard time with it, is because my brain is very like why oriented. So like, how did that happen? Why did that happen? Where did I get that from? Like, I like details. That's just how my brain works. I like to know exactly how things happen, right? It's one of the reasons why I literally got into a screaming match with one of my professors one time. Because I just need to know why and how. You can't just say, this is here. Well, why is that there, right? And so the game had a lot of moments where it was like, this is here. And I'm like, how is that there? And why is that there? Where did I get that from? How did that? All I did was press a button, and now all of a sudden I have these 2 different grades that I have to decide, do I want all the students to fail or all the students to pass? But where'd they come from? And why isn't the GPA different for the ones who failed? I don't understand. So it was like, my brain doesn't jive with that kind of stuff. I like to know details and why things happen. So it was rough, but I could see if somebody wanted to like kind of get started in hacking, that they would kind of like get with that and be like, oh, this is kind of cool. I want to get deeper into it. It was cool. I like coding. And so that part of it was fun for me. Like, putting all the codes in and stuff was kind of fun. So
yeah, it's literally command prompt simulator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For those that haven't seen this, it's
which I love. I love that kind of stuff. Like, I love coding. Like, I do CSS and like I love that aspect. I love looking at code and figuring things out. But once they started handing me things and with no explanation as to where I got them from, I was like, I can't do this. My brain is going to short circuit. So, I played another game called Forgotten Mines. Really cool pixel, like 8-bit, turn-based mine game where you have to get through these mines So you fight the enemies, and you also have to mine to make money. But if you stay too long mining, you're going to get another wave of enemies before going on to the next cave, and they're harder. And so you have to make a decision. Do I keep mining or do I leave and go to the next stage? But I don't have a lot of money. In the next stage, I'm going to get an opportunity to buy things, but I might have enough money to buy, and it's a roguelike. So
like an 8-bit tactical RPG roguelike.
Yes. And it was pretty cool. Like,
tactical
so my
RPG are Johnny's like words.
No, I'm running to YouTube right now. I'm running there.
So
this is very much a Johnny game.
So what happened was my buddy Lorna Just Callan reached out to me, and she had just started working with a PR group called Player 2, and I filled out the form to be included in mailings, and she sent me an email, and she was like, "You want to play this game?" And I was like, "This game looks awesome." And the tutorial, terrible. Tutorial is so bad. Johnny, I'm going to warn you right now, if you get it, worst tutorial for our ADHD brains, because they give you all of the directions, all of them at the start.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me.
It doesn't work for me either, okay? And then the first fight, you're like, what the fuck is even happening? But then once it gets into the actual game, I literally just went, oh, that's easy. So just bear that in mind, because I literally thought of you when I was playing it, because I'm like, Johnny's going to like this game, but he's going to literally look at the screen and be like I short-circuited. I'm like, there are so many words and arrows and things, and I'm not going to remember any of this because I've already read a paragraph and forgot it. And so just to warn you, but once you get into the actual fighting, it's very easy to understand. Okay, to warn you.
I know exactly what you mean when you say that. Like, I need a game to teach me A, and then let me practice A, and then give me B.
Yes.
But if you go, here's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, go get them, I'm fucked.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that Lorna was like repping the game, if somebody gave me that game and I turned it on, I would have been like, nope, click, and turned it off, and I would have never gotten to experience it. But just trust me and trust my ADHD brain. Just get past that. Give it a quick read, get past it, and then gameplay-wise, the first fight is dumb. After that, you're going to be like, oh, got it. 1, 2, 3, done. Got it. Yeah.
And that comes out July 23rd. Just on Steam, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. I played Kristala, which is a Souls-like game where you play as a cat. I've talked about this game in the past.
Cat Souls.
I did it. What's that?
Cat Souls.
Cat Souls. That's right. I did a Steam stream along with my Twitch stream. And it's nice. It's a really nice game. It's early access. They're still putting work into it. It needs work. It's a little bit slow on the controls, these are some of the things that I had let them know while I was playing. Like, the block feels a little bit slow, which is hard in a Souls, you need it to be really fast, But in terms of the way the game looks, the graphics of the game, the scenery, so beautiful. It's a Souls-like game, but bright, but dark at the same time. And it's really nice. And they nailed the movements of the cat. You're a character with the little ear twitches and the tail going, and once in when you stretch, you're you give a little meow, and they really nailed the cat movements. And they're gonna keep putting work into it, and they're gonna keep working, and I think it's gonna end up being a really, really good game. And it hasn't. Oh wait, did it finally come out? It did, right?
Not everywhere. So that game's announced for all of the major console platforms.
Oh, it's on Steam. Okay.
I'm not really super sure what's going on with that game, because they had a Kickstarter going.
Well, it's on Steam. It's $27.
I think their Kickstarter's still active.
I don't know.
And it didn't do very much over there. It's at 110,000, which for a Kickstarted game is it's pretty small. But
they put up.
it's definitely
I know
out on
they
PC.
beat their goals. they beat their goals for Kickstarter. They weren't asking for a whole lot. So but yeah, it's on PC. It's $27 on sale right now. Usually 30. And they put out a whole roadmap and everything. There's a big roadmap and yeah, I'm really proud of them. I'm really happy for the devs. And they have a lot of passion for their game, which I love. Like I'll put up with a game that's not perfect as long as I know the devs love it and are working on it and are putting their heart into it and want it to be great. You know what I mean? Because man, there's been too many games that came out and the devs are like, well, we put it out. It's like, but you don't love it enough to work on it? Come on, man. And so they're pouring their hearts and soul into it. So yeah. And then finally, my favorite game that I played this week. I was a little bit like, I don't know how this is going to be because it didn't get the best reviews, but I started Callisto Protocol. And I love it.
Yes.
Like, I can't wait to play more. I am absolutely loving it. It's dark and it's like super gritty.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually like the combat. I know people complained about the combat, but I really like it. And
it's got a great combat
I don't
system.
know. What's that?
It has a great combat system.
I love it. And I know people complained about it. I am really liking it.
Exactly Dead Space.
And that's what makes me crazy, because it's like, why do you want a game that's exactly Dead Space? But then when a game comes out that's exact that if a game comes out just like Dead Space, oh, it's just a Dead Space copy. Like people like shut the fuck up and just like enjoy games. That's it. I love it. I love the game so far. I put a few hours into it. And man, I can't wait to play more of it. And I don't think I'm gonna be playing it we dubbed Fridays, Freaky Friday is my Fridays now. So I don't know that I'm gonna be playing any of it this Friday because it's Steam Next Fest and I'm gonna be doing demos all week. So Friday I'm doing spooky demos. But man, I'd love to find a little bit more time to put in the Callisto Protocol on Friday because I really, really like it a lot.
One of the things that's very annoying about that game is that there does not seem to be a possibility of having a conversation about it or an interaction with that game where somebody doesn't bring up Dead Space constantly.
Yep.
And, there's some obvious reasons why, like Glenn Schofield, the creator of Dead Space, making another game that's a sci-fi horror game with a lot of the same combat elements and things. So, I mean, but I just wish that game could exist in a bubble where for a period of time we could just blip Dead Space out of existence so people can stop talking about it and just play that game for what it is. Now, it did come out at the worst possible time ever, in that it came out a month before EA released the remake of Dead Space, which was fantastic.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But it was a month away from it, so everyone is buzzing about the original Dead Space game. Now, what's funny is Glenn didn't work on the new Dead Space. It had nothing to do with the people that made the original Dead Space game. So this is the first foray back after being completely out for over a decade, and the shadow of his old game being drugged back to life by EA.
Yep.
Just completely shit all over his new project. And it's like, man, if people just went back, forget the remake for a second, go back and play the actual original Dead Space game and play it on 360 or PlayStation 3. Play it how it looked when that came out and the vision was original. And then come back to me and talk to me about Callisto Protocol. Because it's so handicapped by that remake. When people talk about it, it came out at that same time.
Yeah,
it's such a shame because graphically it's really beautiful. Like, it's beautiful. The voice acting is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you have great stars in it, and then the combat, in my opinion, is really fucking fun. And so I was a little bit like, I literally even said to myself, I'm going to start Callisto Protocol, and if I don't like it, so be it. Maybe I'll just get through it. It's not that long of a game. Because I was really expecting it not to be great because of everything people have said. But I think a lot of times it's hive mind too, not for nothing, but yeah, I literally knew within, God, I don't know, 15 minutes. And then especially, Mike, when you came in the stream and you were like, I loved this game, I was like, I'm going to love this game. I just know it because we have such similar tastes,
Yeah.
And I was like, if Mike really loved it, I think I'm really going to love it. And I'll tell you what, I put a few hours into it and I absolutely am having a blast with it. So
it's
I'm
super
very happy
good.
I'm
It's
giving
short.
it a go.
It's short and to the point. It doesn't overstay its welcome. My only gripe about it when I reviewed it here on the show, a year and a half ago, is the same, and that is that there's too many crawl through this tiny space while the game loads moments. They're like fucking constant. It's comical.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, that's not a huge knock. That's just a common development choice these days to deal with old hardware still being out there. Because the game is
and people complain about loading screens
so well. That game will run on fucking anything at 60 frames a second. It just looks so good. So
yeah. So that's it. That was my week.
Pretty meaty week there, Kim.
Yeah. Other than like League of Legends and
the
all that stuff I play on the side. Yeah, the usual Skull and Bones, Yeah.
Johnny, I know that you've been dying to get something off your chest.
I have.
Because it's been sitting on it for a fucking months. Go ahead, sir.
You can breathe.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth credits rolled. I beat it. I think my total playtime was somewhere around 150 hours. Now, here's the thing. I tend to leave the PlayStation on, and the kids don't play the PlayStation during the week. So I honestly think that 150 hours is still inflated by 20 or 30 or maybe even 40 hours. I feel like it took me about 100 hours. I feel like I played it about as much as I did Final Fantasy 16. My playtime there was 100 hours. Getting that out of the way, in that 100 hours, I 100%ed almost every single region. So anybody afraid to play this game is like, oh my God, I don't want to get into a 100-hour game. You don't have to do what I did, right? I was sort of a completionist. I didn't say, hey, I'm going to get the Platinum Trophy because the Platinum Trophy in this game is fucking nuts. But I did beat the game. And I have an analogy for everybody. Imagine if you went to a buffet that had everything that you can possibly imagine, okay? And some of it was not that great, right? You're like, well, I'm not really digging this, but what else do they got? And then you take a bite of the best steak you've ever had in your fucking life. And you're like, wow, okay, all right. And you get some more stuff. You're like, this is not really that great. And you go over here and you have the best plate of pasta you've ever had in your life. And these good moments start to overshadow the moments that I was bitching about, especially the mini games in the first third of the game are pretty brutal. Once you get past that, a message that I said to these two in Discord chat after I rolled credits, I said, this game stuck the landing so hard that it left a fucking crater. The end of this game, the final boss fight in this game, the lead up, the stakes, the character building, the story, they fucking murdered it in this game. And if you had asked me a week or two into this game where I thought it was going to land, I would have thought it was going to land probably around where Remake was, which I don't remember exactly where I gave it, but I think it was probably like a 7.5, 7.8, maybe an 8. I think this game for me is a 9. I think it's one of the greatest Final Fantasy games ever made. I think it has the best combat system in almost any action RPG that I've ever played. The improvements and changes that they did to the Rebirth combat engine alone single-handedly makes the game a must-play. But God, I cannot wait for the third one. I fucking adored this game. It really, really, really stuck the landing. And the final boss fight was one of the most epic things I've ever done in a game. It's just, they somehow managed to top the crazy ass fight at the end of Remake. And they leapfrogged over it 5 times. I mean, I'm stunned at how great the ending of this game was. So Rebirth is done. Moving on. I also rolled credits on Arcade Paradise. This stupid little indie game took over my life for like 2 weeks. I think I'm at like 30 plus hours on this dumbass game. So this is a game where you're a teenager and you dropped out of college and your rich father has said, well, why don't you strap on your bootstraps and put in some hard work here at this laundromat that I own? And so you start working at the laundromat, and there's like 2 arcade machines in the little back area. And so when you come in, you start doing laundry, you start cleaning up, and you start collecting money from the hopper. So you take all the change from the laundromat area, and then you go back into the arcade area, and the machines are full of money. There's more money in the arcade machines than there is anything else.
I'm having some serious deja vu right now.
I know, sorry. I know. I'm getting through it all.
Word for word, the same explanation you gave last week.
All right. I'll fast forward. By the end of the game, you have over 30 arcade machines. And they do such a good job with, some of them are like obvious, like this is missile command, this is whatever. But no, I mean, one of the things that becomes so fun in this game is that you get these challenges every day you come in. You have to get the top score on this thing, or you have to play that game for 5 minutes. You have to get this to do that. And I got into that gaming cycle of like, I got to get the next machine. Where's that machine going to go? And you can reorganize it however you want. And the arcade keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger until when the credits roll, it is no longer a laundromat. It is only an arcade place. But I fucking loved it. If you like old, and I mean fucking old retro games, you should probably check this game out. I
need to play it. I have it.
The amount of little fun games that are in this, and Kim, there's one specific game that made my brain go brr, and this is a game that I will go back a year from now and say, oh fuck it, I'm gonna hop into the arcade and play it. There's a game called Stack Overflow.
Okay.
And in Stack Overflow, there are these little pallet bases, right? And there are boxes, and you have to stack the boxes to where all of your reds are on this pallet, and all of your greens are on that pallet, and all of your blues are on that pallet. But you can only move one box at a time, and that box can only go on a pallet or another box that is the same color. So you move the green. Oh, I got a green over here. There's a red. Red, I can go over on the pallet. Okay, that gives me this other green. Let me move these 2 greens over there. That gives me this other one. And I get super zoned in, and I'm just like...
So I gotta tell you, there's a game I play where you do that with water bottles. And when I tell you, I, like, lose myself. I hyper focus on this freaking game to the point where I'm like, literally, I should really stop right now. I have to go to bed. So that's gonna, like, I literally looked it up to see what it was, and that's gonna be,
So then another one of the cool things about Arcade Paradise that I didn't mention, every one of these games, the more you play them, the more profitable they become, the more popular they become. So if you have a machine that's not performing well, just sit down and try to beat it. Just sit down and be like, all right, I'm going to get the high score on this one. And then the next day you come in, you're like, whoo, man, that machine's fucking cranking in the money now. So you're kind of incentivized to actually play all these games, and your responsibilities become lower and lower, and it really just does become about playing the games. It's, you come in the morning, you clean up the trash, and then you just fucking play arcade games. And then when the store's closing, you get all your money and you're out for the day. And it's a strong recommend. If you like retro games, you can probably scoop it for $10-$20. I got it with my subscription to Humble Monthly, and I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I fired it up. I really, really enjoyed it a lot. So if you want to support an indie developer, shout out to Nosebleed Interactive. It's a very cool game. I loved it. Moving on, a brand new first-person shooter came out this week and had a little bit of hype in the PC community. I pulled up a trailer and said, dear God, take my money, and threw my wallet at Steam. The game is called Selaco, and Selaco is a current-gen 2024 first-person shooter created within the GZ Doom engine. So it uses all of the modern bells and whistles as far as fog effects and lighting and all of that shit, but the enemies that you're fighting are sprites, and it is the Doom engine, and they've somehow managed to make it feel like a really tight, really tuned in first-person shooter. So if you dig fast-paced, if it is kind of similar to Doom in the way of like, okay, I got my key, where's the blue door? Let me blast through 20 enemies with using my 6 or 7 different weapons that I have. And I fucking love this game. It's awesome. I'm gonna play the shit out of this for the next couple weeks until I roll credits on it. It looks super fun.
I looked it up as soon as I saw
It's a blast.
As soon as I saw it on the list, it looks good.
Moving on, next, I am at about the halfway point in Hellblade 2. I'm stunned at the lack of hype for this game. Stunned. The presentation is just as good as the first Hellblade. The binaural voices in your head, they've now amplified it by adding additional voices. It is no longer just Senua's voice. There are additional voices in your head happening as well. So that adds a new dynamic. The combat, although it is repetitive, it is incredibly cinematic. The way that the camera angle whips around and gets the final shot, and it is really satisfying to see and to watch. And I understand why. I feel like most of the gripe on this game is the fact that the combat is repetitive, but the combat was repetitive in the first one. You ask anybody why Hellblade 1 was great, no one would say the combat.
Well, I think it's because they removed abilities in Hellblade 2. Let's be clear. Like, they watered it down from where it was in the first game.
That's what I've heard. I've heard the combat isn't like the combat in Hellblade is like in the original Hellblade is definitely, repetitive, but there was a lot to do.
They simplified it. They
took and that's what I heard is that they simplified
components out.
Yeah.
So yes, and I have the same gripe. I don't think the combat is that great. But that being said, the addition to the lore and the story of Senua's journey, there was a twist in there that I did not expect, and I was like, it makes total fucking sense. That's so cool that they did that. And there are a few scenes, imagery-wise, that remind me of Bramble with how dark and how fucking gory it got. There are parts where you are crawling through entrails while blood is dripping on you and people are screaming around you, and like, honestly, the only reason why I haven't rolled credits on it is because this game is so fucking heavy, I can only take it in little bite-sized chunks. And but so far, I'm really impressed with the game. I think it's fucking gorgeous. I think that the story I'm really fascinated by. I mean, and I want to see what happens. So I'm not getting any kind of stink on this game at all. I do think combat not the best, but other than that, the game's awesome. I also beat the Dave the Diver Godzilla DLC today. Anybody that has Dave the Diver and hasn't checked this out yet, it's only about maybe 2 hours of content. It's really short. It all happens within about 2 days of in-game play. So this is revealed that, Godzilla's around. You got to go do your thing. There's a boss fight. There's some fun things that happen and the end. So if you have Dave the Diver and you rolled credits on it and you're afraid that this DLC is going to eat up 8 hours or 10 hours of time, it's a very fun, like, just sit down and beat it in one sitting. Boss fight's a lot of fun. And I dug it. So Dave the Diver Godzilla DLC, if you have the game, it's free. Just make sure you add it before November or something. It goes away forever and ever. So add it to your account at least. And lastly, after I rolled credits on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Megan and I had to find a different game for me to fire up and play on the TV, because that's kind of what we do every night. The kids go to bed, and I fire up a game, and she watches. I pitched The Last of Us, Part 1, and she said, no, I'm not in the mood for anything that heavy right now. Pick something else. And I said, okay. And I scrolled through on the PlayStation app and looking around at all the games I have, and I was like, you know what? I've never rolled credits on it. I've probably only played an hour of it. Fuck it, let's do it. And I fired up Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. I like Haytham. The main character you play as, Haytham, he's got a bit of a James Bond vibe. He's a no bullshit. I like the British accent. He's got a little swagger to him. He's kind of cool, man. So yeah, I'm playing Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. I know it's old as fuck, but I've never rolled credits on this game, and so far I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I'm I don't know, maybe 5-6 hours in, but I'm digging it. It's fun.
So I started Assassin's Creed 3, and I was very excited for it. And during the tutorial, I was like, I hate this game, and I never touched it again. I hated it so much.
Why?
Because it felt so different. It just felt different, because especially in the tutorial, you're like walking through this village and I'm like, there's nothing to climb on. There's like nothing to do here. And like the tutorial was really weird and like I was like I wasn't feeling it. Like it just didn't I just wanted to climb and I wanted to caw and I wanted to like
That's all there. That's all in the game.
I know, that's what I found out is that after that it's there, but I've never picked it up after that because I was like one day.
Yep.
But and then that was it.
When are you ever going to touch Baldur's Gate 3? You own it.
I know. I own it twice. I own it on PC and PlayStation 5.
Explain yourself.
I just need my wife to say, sure, let's go. I mean, that's it. That's all it is.
That's a big game.
I mean, you could have already beaten it like 3 times without her.
I want to play it with her. That's it. That's the only thing holding me back.
You still can. You know it's going to be different every time.
I want to experience it for the first time with my wife.
I need to call her.
I totally understand that.
One of the best co-op experiences that I've ever had, ever in my entire life, was my wife and I playing Divinity Original Sin 2. I had a fucking blast with that.
Mike had a really great experience playing that game as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, especially at the end. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easily the best game I've ever played in my life.
But no, so I mean that's the only thing holding me back from Baldur's Gate 3 is that I want to play it with my wife, and that means that she has to be like, okay, let's start, because she knows once we start, it's fucking over.
Don't ask. Just put the controller in her hand and turn it on. Be like, oh, you thought you're getting Assassin's Creed 3? Surprise, you're getting something that is inarguably way better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Baldur's Gate.
Surprise, Astarion.
I bought it on both platforms so that we don't have to do split screen. I can be full screen on my computer, she can be full screen on the TV, and we're in the same room playing the game. So it needs to happen. I'm there with you.
This is getting out of control.
I know. I pitched it, bro. What do you want me to tell me? I mean, what do you want me to do? I tried.
You have to play it. One of us does, and I don't want to.
I want to.
But that's all you'll do for the next 10 years. Johnny, you have to do this.
If I play that?
I know.
Get on it.
I will.
Yeah, do it.
I will, but that's it. That's all I played this week. What about you, Mike?
Oh, boy. Let's start with Animal Well. Animal Well. Everybody's talking about Animal Well and the cute little meatball and or fluff that you traverse this world as. Look, I'm not gonna bullshit with people. This game's not for everyone at all. There's very few people that this game is for. The trophy list on PlayStation tells me so, that this game turns people out fucking hard. Okay? But Animal Well, for those who it is for, which, let's be clear, it is not for a casual, okay? You know, you get advertised, oh yeah, it's a Metroidvania with no combat. You're like, oh, okay, that sounds accessible and friendly, much more so than Symphony of the Night. Dude, I could fucking walk Symphony of the Night in my sleep compared to the amount of effort that Animal Well took to beat. This is one of the most hardcore games on the market right now.
Oof.
Animal Well is about your ability to tolerate feeling completely fucking lost, overcoming that feeling, solving something that will make your brain feel just massive that you were able to tackle it. And then move on to the next moment where you start that whole process all over again. Just constantly. That being said, it's not the hardest game to get to the initial set of credits on. And I think most people could do that with about the same ease of difficulty as going through a Zelda game blind. It's not the hardest to get that first wave of credits. That being said, every person I've talked to that's played Animal Well that it's stuck with has gone through the same process of emotions. Where your first 3 hours with the game, you're really not sure if you want to be doing this to yourself. but it's so easy just to pop in. And every time you pop in, it's like, oh, I solved this, or I solved that, or I found this thing, I found that thing. And then you can't stop thinking about it. You can't stop. It's got this magic energy to it that only the truly greatest of games contain in their DNA. And I mean all-time greats. I'm talking in the company of games like Symphony of the Night and games like Ocarina of Time. This has that something special baked into its DNA. It's very meticulously thought out and planned. And I would love to share some of the end game puzzles with people that have no intention of playing this game. Because if you saw what the fuck you had to do to even begin to figure some of these things out for some of the secrets in this game, your mind would just be completely blown. More so than the paradigm shift after watching Fight Club for the first time. It's truly an exceptional game that I wish everyone could enjoy. But I don't think most people out there have the patience for this style of game anymore, have the understanding to solve some of the things that this game throws at you. And it has some very high skill platforming in it that is so over the top. You'll be thinking, there's no way this is what I'm supposed to do. Oh, yes, the fuck it is. And you know it. So, Animal Well is a special game that is not for everyone. But for those who it's for, you will be pleasantly surprised. I did go so far as to get the Platinum Trophy for this game on PlayStation 5.
Nice.
Which was a bitch. And doing so took me about 13 hours. There's 65 hidden eggs in the game that you have to find. To achieve this feat, I believe I found around 35 or 40 of them unguided. And then I cracked open a guide for the last 25 because it was nuts. So have no shame about doing that. Still had a great time. I basically used it to like point me to the right area where this thing is and then would figure it out from there.
Yeah.
Really, really exceptional game. Totally not for everyone. It's kind of weird to score that because some people are going to be like, this is the most 10 out of 10 thing I've ever experienced in my life. And other people are going to be like, this is a giant pile of tunic dog shit and just walk away from it. Which more people do that than anything else with this game. So most people fucking hate it because they can't even stomach getting through the first credits. It's impossible to rate, is what I'm getting at. So, not going to rate it. I don't think that's the right way to go with this. If you're intrigued, play it. If you have a PlayStation Plus extra, you just have it. So you don't have to pay anything extra for it. It just comes with that. So Animal Well, very special game. Excited. Been really pleased seeing us.
What does it come with? Sorry.
PlayStation Plus Extra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if
cool.
you have that, you have it. And can try it without having to invest any additional funds. So really cool game. Strongly recommend it for people who think that they're the right people for the game, if that makes sense. Still playing some Death Stranding. Animal Well completely derailed my my charge through this game. That being said, I'm like a quarter of the way through it, you know. So I really like Death Stranding. It's an easy game, just pick up, run a couple missions, and watch some crazy Hideo Kojima shit. So I'll have more stuff to say on that in the future than I do now. Coming out of left field, Cyberpunk 2077. Now, we're about to get extremely Mike Dawson here, folks.
Uh-oh.
We're about to go all in on my fucking weirdness. So buckle up. I'm playing the PS4 version. On my PS5, where I own the PS5 version. Why, might you ask? Because they're assholes and their trophy progress does not flip to your new version. And I only had 4 left to get.
Oh.
Playing at 20 frames per second on a first generation PS4, mind you. And so I was like, you know what? I'll polish that off when Phantom Liberty comes out. I'll polish it off then. It's all going to be good. Fire up the PS5. None of the trophies pop. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. It's not shared. Nope. Go online, search. Infamously, it's not shared. So I said, well, fuck this.
Wow, that's a shame.
I have to finish what I started 2 years ago.
Oh my God.
And I must get my platinum trophy that only 1.5% of PS4 players had the tolerance to obtain. I am so close. And unfortunately, the part that I'm at right now involves needing a commodity that I have exhausted in the game world. And that commodity is money. Because I need to buy all of the cars that are for sale.
Oh.
So in order to make money, where the game, I've done every single quest in the game. Like I'm 170 hours in on that playthrough from my old PS4 copy. So now, what's your boy get to do? That's right. I load up in Pacifica and mow down every fucking gangster on that beach from the bottom to the top, picking up every piece of trash that they drop. And then carrying this mountain of trash to a sell point to extract the 20,000 credits, the 20,000 eddies from that until I move on to the next one. And I've been doing that nonstop for the past 8 hours. And I still got a ways to go. The commitment.
Nope, I couldn't do it.
There ain't no way,
commitment.
Bro. No fucking way.
The commitment is there. And then to make matters worse, to get the final trophy that I need, I have to replay the campaign up to about the halfway point. So once I'm done with this, okay, then I'm going to replay the campaign on the PS4 to about the halfway point so I can make one different decision in one particular mission that you could not go back and fix in your save.
But why though?
You know why, Johnny.
I just I don't. There's never been a trophy that I'm like, oh, another 50 hours of fucking heartache.
I love
sure,
this
let's
game.
go.
Okay, and I platinum games that I love.
I get it.
This is what's funny to me. So every once in a while I still get a like on the TikTok of me, or like if I'm like scrolling through to like look at my analytics and stuff, right? There's a clip of me quoting you because you were like playing a single A game with your shoulder in pain, you're hangry, right? You went through this whole big diatribe of how I was pushing through this game, right? I streamed for what, like 10 hours that night or something, right? And I was like, yeah, because I want to get this game done. I gotta tell you something. This person right here who did all that, I couldn't do that. I give you credit.
Oh, I've got a solid like 20 hours in front of me to finish this off. And then
no way.
Once I'm done that, I can finally start the entire thing over again on the PlayStation 5.
That game just overwhelms me.
Oh, I love that game.
I tried to play it, but it overwhelmed me.
I love it too.
I really need to try it again.
It's so good.
Because I feel bad because I got like the great version of it from CD Projekt Red, you know? And that was pretty cool. And I really need to go in
it's fabulous.
And try it. and do it and just say, hey, I'm going to do this. But God, it just overwhelms me. It overwhelms me a lot. But now I heard they like fixed the skill tree.
Yeah, you can
and,
re-roll. It's no problem now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is great because back in the day too, I was going to have to do another playthrough just to apply my skill points correctly. Because you used to not be able to just do what you wanted and then max out an ability, and one of the trophies is locked behind that. So now, I'm mopping up all the baddies in Pacifica to get money, and then I'm going to mop them all up probably for like another 5 hours just to disassemble everything they drop so I can max out my crafting and get that trophy. So, gotta love Cyberpunk, man. Gotta love playing the PS4 version in 2024 on your PS5. I will say it runs fabulous. It's running at like 60 frames, no shenanigans. I mean, other than it does still crash pretty regularly because the PS4 version is only updated to 1.61. Oops. It's fine. I don't care. I'm getting my platinum trophy on that game twice. I need to play more Death Stranding. That's what I'm getting at.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Well, now that I've officially disgusted both of my fellow hosts,
I'm just sitting here like, why not play it on PC? You have a fucking monster computer in front of you. You could play that game at like 90 frames per second with ray tracing. And you're just like, play it on
see that thought never even crossed my mind. The playing it on PC.
So much better on PC.
That you always say that, and it's like
because it's true.
That's a complicated game. Having all the key presses for that shit is so much better.
Oh yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard to manage with a controller. I don't know how I've done it for the past 170 hours. Man, so tough to figure out. I still haven't fucking figured it out, Johnny. 170 hours later.
I'm
how
sure
to play
you
the
are.
game with a goddamn controller. What am I doing with my life? Oh my god, it'd be so much easier if I had a keyboard in front of me. Now that I've completely disgusted both of my fellow hosts, let's move on. There was all sorts of things and stuff that came out. And I'm only interested in very few pieces of it, but we had both the Summer Games Fest and the Xbox Showcase, which no doubt, if you listen to any other gaming podcasts, is all they talked about. You missed out on your crazy host discussing Cyberpunk 2077 on their PS4 and just heard about every mundane detail from a million game trailers that we just got bombarded with. For that, I apologize to you on behalf of all the other podcasters. We are not going to do that. Instead, we're just going to talk about the ones that caught our eye, or if there was something interesting. So I'll get started with something I saw that I thought was pretty interesting. And that is, so nice to say the whole name again, guys, Gears of War E-Day. Now, that's exciting because I'm not just saying Gears E-Day, because I thought dropping of War was necessary to make people like their game more. It's just got to be Gears, man. It's not cool enough being Gears of War. It's got to be Gears, dude. So silly. What is Gears E-Day? Gears of War E-Day? Gears of War E-Day is the prequel to Gears of War. It takes place 14 years before the events of the first Gears of War game, which means, and it focuses on Marcus Phoenix and Dom Santiago, which is super cool. They gave it the Mad World trailer and everything. So we're back, baby. We're back to basics.
When I saw the trailer, when I saw Marcus,
baby-faced Marcus,
I was watching with a couple of friends, and one friend in particular, my buddy Lumi, the trailer started, and I was like, wait a second. And he was like holding it in because he already watched it, right? And I was like, hold on, wait, is this? No, it's not. What? And then when I saw Marcus's face, I was like, Marcus!
Mm-hmm.
Because I fucking love Marcus. And then the Dom reveal, we were like, yo, it's Dom! I'm so excited for that game. I'm so excited.
I am like so torn in probably the only way one could be torn with this. Like, fantastic idea, right? All about this. But where the fuck is Gears 6? Like, for those that didn't play Gears 5, that game ends on quite the cliffhanger, okay? Pretty big cliffhanger ending on Gears 5. And it's like, clearly there's going to be Gears 6. Are they just waiting people to completely have forgotten what the fuck even happened in that game?
I haven't played it. I have it, and I haven't played it.
Oh my gosh, guys. It's so
I heard it wasn't
crazy.
great.
It's like if George Lucas, right, made The Empire Strikes Back, made you wait 7 years, and then revealed The Phantom Menace, and just skipped Return of the Jedi. Like, that's what we're dealing with right now. I'm like, what? Like, yes, this is awesome. And this is probably what we wanted, more so than this new story arc to begin with. But what are we doing? Are we just not? Are we just going, you know what? It's on the shelf. Forget Cat. Forget old man Marcus. It's on the shelf, man. We're taking it back. I don't know that we're ever gonna see it anytime soon. So
they Half-Life 2 episode 2'd ya.
Yeah.
Is what they did.
But then made Half-Life -3
Right.
as their next announcement. Like,
yeah.
So I'm excited for it. I don't even need to see gameplay of this because it's a Gears game. I know exactly what the fuck it is. Just hit me with it, okay? And it's got to come out. It's got to come out in November, right? Just like Gears of War 2. It's got to come out at the right time. So we know when it's going to come out. I imagine not this year, but next. We'll see, I guess. I don't know that they said. I didn't pay that close attention.
I think they said 2025.
Okay. So, yeah, Q4 2025. No doubt. No doubt. Kim, anything catch your eye from these that you wanted to shine a light on? That was mine.
I had a few that I was very excited for. When I tell you I wrote down so many games because I'm so excited. However, I'm gonna 3 of them that I was excited about. There were so many. There was the Summer Game Fest, which I streamed, ton of games. There was the PC Gaming Showcase that happened right before that was right after the Xbox Showcase, which had a ton of awesome games. But I was like, let me stick to the Xbox Showcase, right? So first of all, the new Doom, I'm very, very excited for, because Doom, I am so excited. So that one was like one of the first ones that I was like, that was, I think, the first trailer they showed. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait for that goddamn game. So that was the first one that I was very, very excited
Love
for.
that shield. Oh my God.
Oh. Dude, when he was like, shoom, I was like, okay, I am so ready. I'm so ready for this. It's so exciting. I can't wait.
Chainsaw shields. Definitely need that in my life.
Oh, man. I can't wait. I can't wait. The other one that they showed that I've been excited for since the very first trailer I saw, I don't even know how long ago, is South of Midnight. I've been watching this game for so long, and so it was so exciting to actually see some gameplay. It's so fantastical and magical and different and really beautiful looking. And the cutscenes are done almost like stop motion. And I am so excited for that game. Like, I've been excited for that game for a long time now, so it was good to finally see something about it. I don't know if either of you had seen it before.
Yeah, did you check out their last game? Because it's right up your alley.
What was it again?
We Happy Few.
Oh, you know what? I have it, but I have not played it. I've gotten very mixed. A lot of people told me that it starts out really great, and then like a few hours in, it just kind of like falls really, really flat. But it is in my bowl. I do have it in my game bowl.
I'm trying to remember specifically, but I feel like it was kind of like a BioShock clone. Is that right?
Yeah. Kind of, yeah. Not a little bit. It's like Hello Neighbor mixed with BioShock type vibes. Yeah. But yeah, South of Midnight looks very, very different, and I am very, very excited for it. And then finally the last one that actually had me almost in tears, New Life is Strange. Max Caulfield.
He's back.
I am like, oh my gosh. When we were laughing, Lumi laughed so hard because literally Square Enix popped on the screen, and then Deck 9 popped on the screen, and all I heard was my powers, and I went, it's a New Life is Strange! Like, I immediately lost my shit, and Lumi was like, you knew that instantly. And I was like, because there's no doubt about it. Like, you put those three things together, Square Enix, Deck 9, my powers, and I was like, oh my god. And to see that it was Max, I am like over the moon. And by the time the trailer was done, I was like, I'm gonna cry. Like, I was feeling so emotional because it like brought me back to Life is Strange and like the choices that you made. And I am just over the moon and so excited for the new game.
Yeah, easily to me the best narrative story game series.
Oh my god. I cannot wait. I can't wait. So yeah, those are the ones. I had a million more, but I was like, let me
just let the cream rise to the top.
That's right.
Very good. Johnny, what did you see, sir?
Unlikely choice here, but the Lego Horizon Adventures looks fucking awesome.
Looks so cool.
And I'm really excited that both of my kids get to enjoy Horizon, because right now they're still a little young for that game. They're a little young for Horizon Zero Dawn or Forbidden West, but I'm also excited for all the Nintendo Switch owners that get to play a Horizon game. I think that's really cool. And I'm really curious to see what other franchises get this treatment. I mean, if Sony is willing to take, one of their biggest franchises and give it the Lego treatment, what else could we be in store for? I mean, I could foreseeably see them doing like a God of War Lego game. Would be fucking awesome.
God, give me Lego The Last of Us.
Oh my god, dude! That would be amazing. I was thinking Lego Jin Sakai.
Yeah, that too.
I could get down with that, but Lego Last of Us?
Please, God.
With the clickers, you can see the little Legos moving. Oh my god, that would be amazing.
I want nothing more.
One of my favorite. So that looks awesome. And then one of the trailers that came for me completely out of left field, because I have the first game. I played the first game for 3 or 4 hours. It was a little too janky for me. I didn't quite get into it, and that was Kingdom Come Deliverance. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. What a fucking trailer. I mean, this looks like a quadruple A title. I loved what they've done with the story and the presentation and the cinematics and the combat and the graphics, and like everything about this game just looked incredible. I went from that game being completely off my radar to like, I have to play this game. I mean, that trailer blew me away. It really, really did. That trailer was sick. My jaw was on the floor the whole time. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention from the Summer Games Fest, just because it made me like actually laugh out loud, was the presentation for the game Cairn, where you're climbing a mountain.
Yes.
And these French developers come out and they're talking about their game and how it's going to be really challenging, and it's you versus the mountain and blah, blah, blah. And then the one guy makes it a point to say, now I want everybody to know this is real in-game footage. And then they cut to the game and like, it kind of looked okay. I didn't see anything in the trailer that would have made me think, yeah, but that's pre-rendered. Like, the whole trailer just looked like gameplay. It was obvious that it was gameplay. I just thought it was funny that he made it a point to be like, now this is all in-engine in gameplay, and then here's obvious gameplay. It made me funny. It made me laugh. Because, you know, I mean, whenever you hear a developer say, now this is all in-engine, this is all gameplay, for me, being like a graphics nerd, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be some mind-blowing shit they're about to show us. You know, like the Captain America Black Panther trailer, for example. That made sense to say, this is all in-engine, because you watch it and you're like, this can't be, but it is. But no, the Karen, I wasn't. I mean, the game looks fun. I'm not shitting on the game.
That's the type. I love those games. Like, getting over it, they're relaxing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I had what was the second game you mentioned? Because I forgot already. And I had
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna have to watch a video or something because I hear the first one is like pretty janky, right?
Yeah.
But I heard the second one is literally it's literally
Kitty is stuck on the chair back there.
No, he's literally just needing it.
Okay.
I heard the second one is a direct like sequel to the first one. And I'm like, I have to watch the first one. Like, I'm going to have to watch a video or something because there is like, I'm not going to be able to get through that jankiness. And it's the publishing company is part of Deep Silver and PlayOn, which means I'm going to get my hands on it.
Right.
So I'm like, I have to watch a video or something on the first one because I don't think I could do it.
I think I might actually just go back and play it and just get over the jank. I mean, it wasn't like it was really bad janky. It was just, it never really got its hooks in me. I wasn't like I hated my entire time with it, but
yeah,
you know, I never went back to it. But no, I saw that trailer and was like, dude, this looks fucking awesome.
It looked really good, yeah.
Yeah, yep. That trailer looks sick.
You know what trailer didn't look sick?
I think there's a lot of sex in it. A lot of sexy time.
Dragon Age the Veilguard.
I thought it looked cool.
I thought it looked all right, yeah. I thought it looked cool.
I'm worried, guys. I'm worried. Let me get my worry out there first, and then you can put everyone to ease.
Sure.
But
okay.
Yeah, I was not a fan of this hero shooter style trailer for the characters in Dragon Age the Veilguard. Dreadwolf, I thought too, was a cooler name than the Veilguard, but
I don't disagree there.
I guess that's neither here nor there when the game's first impression being made is, oh God, what are they doing now? So they basically have done a trailer where they introduced all the characters that you could possibly have in a game like this, with a little action montage for each one, and their name big and stylistically blasted a la Splatoon fucking cartoon graphics.
Or like BioShock. Or not BioShock, Borderlands. It reminded me of Borderlands.
I'm like, guys, what are we doing here? You know, 10 years ago, you marched out your last good product and took Game of the Year with Inquisition. The original Dragon Age Origins is one of my all-time favorite games. Absolutely loved it. But you know what was great about Dragon Age Origins? There was a lot of mystery to it that you uncovered as you played. You know? And it was kind of serious. It's actually really serious.
Yeah.
And so I guess that they're going to try and do something different here. I get that it's been a decade since we've had a Dragon Age game, which is too long.
Yeah. Agreed.
And yet we have returning characters featured all over this trailer from Inquisition. So apparently they're still holding on to it, but how do you left field it so hard and expect to not turn off your diehard fans? Especially when game after game that you've been releasing has just not been on par with your past. I mean, as much as I'm an apologist for Andromeda, I get it. I totally get it. You know, you compare any awesome segment of Andromeda to the original Mass Effect trilogy as a whole, take out specific games, specific spots in time, that you could even have a conversation where you could make a valid argument that the 2006 release of Mass Effect is better than Andromeda is concerning. So it's just, I don't know, guys. I'm not feeling what they were putting down with this trailer. Did I think that graphically their CG presentation looked nice? Sure. Was I super turned off by the art direction? No. But the tone of it. The whole thing of being a Grey Warden is a super serious, fucking dark and grim thing. And to have the Warden presented in big teal blow-up letters, cackling and like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. So you both seem to disagree with me, which is cool.
I thought it was just
I'm
pretty.
hitting the panic button again with this.
I mean, they've look. There's no doubt about it. BioWare has had a serious string of L's. You can't deny that, and because of that, I'm going to be trepidatious of anything they touch for the next 10 years, if they're still around 10 years from now. That being said, I love a good action RPG. What matters to me is the gameplay, and I like that there's all these different classes with all these different abilities, and we're going to get a gameplay reveal in 2 days. Apparently, we're getting 15 minutes worth of gameplay, and I think that's going to be a pretty obvious divide line between then and now. When that comes out, I think we'll have a better idea of what the game's actually going to be. Because the fact of the matter is, like, look, I love fantasy games, I love action RPGs, and even if this game feels gameplay-wise completely disconnected from Dragon Age, feels completely disconnected in what you're talking about, tone. I mean, I agree. It did feel like they went the Dungeons and Dragons movie route, and I don't know if that was the right choice. We'll see if it fails or not, but I just want to see the gameplay reveal in 2 days, and I want to see if the game looks like it's fun. If the game looks like it's fun, and I can play all of those classes, I think I can probably get down with this game. But I mean, my wife, who's the bigger Dragon Age fan in this house, she beat Inquisition beginning to end twice. She was excited about the trailer, so I don't know. We'll see.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I am concerned, but we'll see what it looks like being played. It's just, I feel like we've seen this movie before with Dragon Age 2, where they did this, and it didn't go great. And then they did Inquisition, where they went back to the basics, and it went fabulously. It went so well. So, yeah, we'll have to see what line this holds. That being the first taste of, this is it, and it's coming out this year. They showed us that gameplay trailer, a year ago?
That was leaked footage that we saw. That alpha footage was. I don't think they ever released anything officially.
Where I was going with that was the one thing that this trailer gave me hope for is that that's not gonna be it, because that looked like dog shit. Clearly.
It did. I mean, it was. Yeah, I think it was like leaked alpha footage,
horrid.
So you can't really.
So
yeah, it did.
But this is like completely new art direction, which again, that side, like, I'm very for. I think it looks great. There was some of that to Inquisition, I felt like. And I don't have a short-term memory. The Dragon Age that everyone fawns over, Origins, is so ugly. You got to remember when that bad boy came out. I was like, what, 08, 09, something like that. Like, I have not forgotten how gross the original Dragon Age looks. So
that is a game that needs a remake bad.
Yeah, if they can put a game out that people love and buy and justify their existence, we might get one. But I think right now this is a studio whose Identity walked out the door years ago. I mean, the people aren't there anymore that did all the things that we love. You know, the name's there, the IP's there. So who's picking up the ball and taking this forward? So I want this to be the best Dragon Age game ever, more than anything else, because I love that series. Which, as ironic as it can be that I love Dragon Age, that series, but can't stand games like Divinity and Baldur's Gate and on and on and on and on. I know is ironic, but yeah, I want this game to be absolutely amazing and not a Borderlands hack job of Dragon Age is where I'm at.
Yep.
Guys, it's been a meaty episode. I knew that there was a ton to go over this week.
Yep.
Do you have any closing thoughts, any one-ups as we depart this week? Kim?
Nope.
Johnny?
Nothing. Oh, one thing. I did have a listener come into my stream asking why Johnny says ooh woo at the end of...
Johnny, could you explain to this confused...
I explained. I wish I could remember their name off the top of my head, but I get it wrong even just reading it, but it's like Spitzer Pitzer or something like that, or Splinter or something. And I'm sorry that I don't remember exactly what the name is, because I just have a bad memory. But they literally asked what Uwu was about, so I explained the Cutie Patootie anime girl story.
Perfect.
And how that is now something you like to make fun of me for, so...
Well, so the me making the uwu sound actually originates from my Twitch channel. One of our listeners and close friend of the channel, Intrinsic75, was in my Twitch chat one night and said, if you recorded yourself doing an uwu sound and put it on your blurp sound alerts, I would spend money to hear the uwu sound. So I did. Serious as a fucking heart attack. Hooked up the mic and came up with the absolute best ew you've ever heard in your life. And then it's on the blurp now. So occasionally when I'm streaming, you can go in and hear that sound whenever you want. I don't know. I just think it's funny. That's the only reason why it's there.
So it fit in so well with the Cutie Patootie anime.
It just amuses me. That's the only reason why I do it. Just strictly to amuse myself.
Well, very good, all of you. It's time to wrap this up. Thank you so much for tuning into the Power Gamer Podcast. We will, of course, be back again next week with another great episode for you to enjoy. Until that time, I'm Mike Dawson.
I'm Johnny Paulus.
And I am Kim. I made it through the entire episode, Ponticello.
Yes, you did. Tune in next time. Take care.
Like and subscribe and rate.
Yeah, please.
Catch y'all on the flip flop.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.